Have you ever heard of the saying that things don't get better in your marriage, they get bigger? Small red flags while you're dating can become massive problems after you say, I do. Today we're going to jump into 5 red flags that if you ignore, they're going to be major problems in your marriage. So let's get into it. Hi, my name is Keanon Slade, and I successfully achieved FIRE. That is, I'm financially independent, retired early, and I'm here in sunny Costa Rica. And more than that, you need to know that, yes, it's not your Costa Rica or wherever place you want to go, moving abroad. It's about actually understanding what makes you whole. Part of that is your decisions and your relationships. Because if you move to your utopia and you got into your dating of the wrong person, or you're ignoring red flags, then those things are really going to trip you up, especially if you try to marry into them. Remember, your future starts with the choices that you make today, especially when it comes to your relationships. I want you to stick around to the very end, because you don't want to be the person who's, I should have listened to Keanon because now I'm in this relationship and it's pretty bad. And also I want you to click on the link below to actually download the book, 7 Signs You're with a Narcissist. So let's get into it. I want to stop you real quick just to say something to my divorced men. If you guys are looking for something that will help you after you've been divorced, separated, heck, even dumped, and you're still looking to move abroad and you're trying to figure out how do you adjust and to deal with this, I want to have something special for you, because honestly, going through that situation, I want to give you something a little bit different because your journey is different, and you can find that information in the link below. And let's get into the rest of the video. The first big flag is financial irresponsibility. And that is huge, because, when you're together, when you're separate, you're like, oh, I do what I want with my money when I do what I want. But when you get married, if a person is not financially responsible, they're making bad decisions, they're deep in debt, they're continuing to get in debt, they just have no sense about money, then when you get together, now you put your money together, now your money and their money is in jeopardy. Your money become in jeopardy, that actually does cause a lot of arguments, and honestly, it's a good reason and portion for people getting divorced, is they're fighting over money. Because when your livelihood, I can't pay the rent because you went on a shopping spree, it actually does affect your relationship. And so this is a small sign, a red flag, that actually becomes real big in your relationship. This is something that you need to be transparent about in your relationship. When you're getting to the point where you're like, I think this is going to be the one, yeah, you really need to have those transparent discussions. If you need a premarital counselor to be the mediator or whatever it is, make sure those conversations happen, because if you don't, it really is going to mess up your relationship. You're going to be paying the price, literally, later on, and it's not going to be good. So do not avoid this red flag. Number 2 is, are they emotionally there for you? And this is really important, because a lot of people think, oh, it's going to get better when we get married, that, yeah, they're lacking emotionally. I'm just going to love them anyway, and they're just going to change, like the movies. Don't watch movies for your guide to figure out how to deal with a relationship. Movies are made just to do that, to entertain you. So just as a cartoon for a drama or it's a love movie, it's the same thing. They are based on friction. You don't want to actually mimic your life off of somebody who, oh, he's emotionally distant, but then she showed the love and the beauty became the beast, and whatever the show was. No, you don't want to do that. These are things that you need to be upfront about. Is this person right for me? Are they emotionally there? Because when I win something, they belittle it. When I'm down, they're not there and supportive in the way that I need. And we've had conversations about it, and they're just not there. And we've talked and we went through counseling, and they're just not there. This is premarital stuff and things like that. They're just not going to be there. And they may have their own reasons, but their reasons are, and especially in the dating time, are not going to be enough to help or change things when you get married. So these are the things that you don't want to jump into, because it's a red flag that's really going to hurt you, because you're going to need emotional support. You always hear about men or women getting into emotional affairs. It's because now there's some trifling people. I shouldn't use that word. There are some people who do what they want to do, but there are also some other people that they feel like there's something lacking at home, which something that could have been identified in their dating to realize if they wanted to be on the journey with that person. That is something that you don't want to avoid. Well, let's jump into the next point. Now, this one is a big one. It's you don't have any shared goals. They feel good. They're the feel-good person, and all that stuff. But when it comes to goals, there's like nothing that aligns. You want to travel the world, you want to start a business, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to help the homeless, you want to do this, you want to make sure your kids are brought up into the church and things like that. And they don't share any of that, or they're 1 out of 5. Yeah, those are not good odds. You want to make sure that there's a common goal. There are common goals that you're going to be on, because it's the time bomb. They're going to jeopardize, especially if their goals are like the opposite. You want to go around the world. They want to stay still. They don't want to move. They don't want to travel. They don't want to see anything. They're just happy with their 4 walls. That's where they want to be for the rest of their life. And you want to see the world. Yeah, that's a trap waiting to happen. So you don't want to get in relationships. And if they're telling you and they're being honest, this is the person who I am, believe them. A lot of people, again, think that, oh, this is going to get better in the marriage. They'll come with me because now we're husband and wife. No, now you are manipulating the circumstances or trying to change the future. You haven't let them grow into deciding that if they want to do that. That actually is bad, and it's a red flag. None of these things are saying that, no, for the most part, none of these points for this video are saying these are bad people. It just means that you're not aligned, and you shouldn't be trying to force the person just because maybe they feel good to be close and other things. You need to be able to share some basic needs to actually have a healthy relationship. Question for you: have you ever gotten in a relationship and you felt like that you were disconnected in sharing your goals? Now, we're not talking about you met that person in college and you had some shared goals and life changed or whatever, but you had some root common goals. Like, we're going to bring, I use this example a lot because I'm a Christian, is we're going to bring our children up studying the Bible in church and stuff like that, versus we're going to be engineers and you end up being computer, whatever, life changes. But you feel like, okay, now we're in this relationship and we don't really have any shared goals. We don't believe the same thing. If so, I want you guys to put that in the comments, and let's jump into the next point. Number 4, disinterest in your family or your close friends. So this is a red sign, and it's, again, this is a big one, because a lot of times today we'll only think of us. Okay, I like the girl, she's pretty, she's smart, and that's it. No, but when you're in a marriage, you are bringing 2 families together. If you're in a relationship and the person doesn't even want to integrate with your family, she doesn't want to do anything with it, that's not a good sign. It's all about her family. You're always getting pulled and always have to choose. There's no, I wouldn't say compromise, but let's work together so that we can bring the families together. Or you have some close friends. Now, I'm talking about good close friends. I'm not talking about you got the one that's trying to just go out to the party and see all the other girls. Yeah, she may have a point. That may not be a good day one. You might have met him day one, but you apparently have different goals. You were trying to marry, he's trying to be about the street. Yeah, she may have a point. But if you have a good close friend that's actually good for him or good for you, and she doesn't want you to be a part of that, yeah, that may be a sign, especially if it's multiple and all your friends like, yeah, now we're talking about isolating and only her friends. Yeah, that's not a good sign. That's a red sign that will blow up in marriage, because that doesn't leave you any room. It doesn't leave you escape. It doesn't. And when you have issues in your marriage, you got no one to talk to. You can't even go to your friends and family because you've essentially isolated yourself. Now, you're going to talk to her friends and family who are just going to tell her. And so you won't be able to have a place just to vent and talk about some problems, somebody to actually help you work it through so that you can continue on your journey in marriage. You need to actually be able to have a woman, a person that will help you integrate. Number 5. Now, this could be a big one for a lot of you. And honestly, if you have this problem, you need to fix it as well. But stubbornness or unwillingness to apologize. Because when you get married, apologies is going to be something that you're going to do in your marriage, because you're going to get to learn each other. The closer that you get, your hearts are together, you're going to accidentally hurt the person. You want to be able to be with the person that's going to be able to apologize. Again, you're going to have to apologize too, and it's going to be the natural ebb and flow of things. And if you're with a person that can't apologize to you or admit that they're wrong when they're dating, especially over little stuff, they're really going to struggle when it comes to big stuff. I forgot this and I forgot that. I'm sorry, no. You should have told, no, you don't want to be, well, I said you don't want to be, I was going to say, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but honestly, you don't want to be with a person like that, because it's not going to end well down the road. And if they're bad enough and they're stubborn enough, they'll make you apologize for their wrong. You don't want to be in a manipulative and a potentially toxic relationship like that. So that is a big red flag to see while you're dating that will get big, massively big. And especially imagine you have kids with that person. Now you're apologizing for the stuff that you did wrong, and your kids are seeing the wrong message. So you don't want to actually be in a relationship like that. Before we close out, I want you guys to click on the link below to get the free ebook for the 7 signs you're with a narcissist. That would actually really help you on your journey. It is a game changer. And want you guys, if you're really resonated with this video, that you like, comment, and subscribe, and even share. And I want you guys to be blessed on your journey, and that God may help you find the right person for you, and that you're not just settling. And until then, I will see you on the other side.